Wingstop.
Ooh.
Is Wingstop a good stock to invest in right now?
Hey, can we run it back 3 weeks when we had our top 5 fast food sectors?
Please.
And I had it at number. Well, I think I had it at number 4, but
number 4 or 5. Yeah, I think number 4.
Oh my gosh!
It's one of those stocks that I think we can unanimously agree. Shout out to Rick Ross because he played a great part in marketing the brand. In 2016, they were at $10. They are at $391.80 right now. Unbelievable growth. I don't want to compare it to Domino's, but close in terms of return and trajectory. So yes, I think this is a great question that we got. But they have outperformed many in their space and many in the retail space. When retail is getting beat up a little bit, they are doing incredibly well. If I had to buy it now, I would wait for maybe 351.34 on a short term, and then if I was being greedy or overzealous, if I ever got to 315, I would probably load the boat there. But the stock has done incredibly well. It's performing like a tech stock, to be honest. And I think we need to highlight it a little bit more and talk about it more.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the growth, like you said, over the past 6 months specifically, it's been pretty incredible. If you look at it from a 5-year standpoint, it looks even better. And if you span out from inception, I mean, you're talking about extreme growth. I think one of the things, and I always didn't do it, but the more we talked, Ian, I feel like looking at the fundamental side is important to me. And so one of the first things that I know we spoke about in our class was like, what are the operating margins? How much money are they making for every dollar?
That matters so much.
And if you look at it, so if you look at some of the companies that we just named, you said Domino's, right? Domino's operating margin at 11%, right? So they're making $11 for every 100 spent. Wingstop is almost at $17.
Yeah.
$17,
which is great in the retail space and in the food space as well. That is pretty good. Not great for tech, but for the space or sector that they occupy,
anything
that's
food,
pretty damn good.
I mean, that's it. I think it's fair to say it's exceptional, right?
Yeah.
When you talk, and when you think about Wingstop, especially here, I would say in the Northeast, you don't see them as often. Like you might see 1 or 2 of them, but there's so much room for expansion, so much room for growth. And we know one of the favorite pastimes of any community really is wings.
Lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper, right? It's the reason why Buffalo Wild Wings was successful for so long.
Yeah.
And now you have this new innovative company that has multiple different types of flavors, different options. I like them, man, because the expansion is there, the room for growth is there, and these margins are really exceptional. I think it's great.
Yeah. If you compare it to Darden gross margin is 19%, when Wingstop profit margin is 17%. It's like, and Darden has done incredibly well, but if you look at if their profit margins are what another company's gross margins are, Wingstop is definitely better.
Yeah,
sure.
And how many companies are encompassing under that Darden umbrella to even get to that number?
Yeah.
So it's great.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
All right. So Wingstop. So let's talk about Apple. We haven't talked about Apple in a while, but they're having their worldwide developers conference in California. And
today's the day.
We have a representative out there.
Shout out to our guy, man. Shout out to Mike. He's on the ground. Shout out to Mike.
So, okay. Are we going to show some video or?
Yeah, let's put out some of the
Let's show the video.
Yeah.
Okay. There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Worldwide Developer Conference. You guys got a sneak peek into it, right? So, okay, Apple is
exclusive reporting. Look at us.
For sure.
Sending representatives.
So, Apple's a company that we haven't spoke about in a while. What's the deal with this situation?
This is their day to make their big AI announcements. They also announced updated software, of course, for the Vision Pro 2. It's been a year since the Vision Pro was announced. The product hasn't done as well, but the software looks pretty amazing. I'm excited to see the integration with AI and Siri. They're like unveiling the Siri 2.0, which I'm excited about. And despite it having a rocky year, Apple opened up at 187.15. They're at 194. They are like clawing back out of some of the mistakes they made from earlier this year. The stock price is looking pretty damn good, and then they should end up at the year maybe like at 205 ish if everything goes according to plan. So I think they heard a lot of the criticism. I think they were a little bit late for sure on the AI wave, but I think they're punching back and clawing back some of those lost opportunities. You know, I know everyone was wondering if Apple was going to fall permanently. Here we are clawing back. They have found a way to adjust, and the stock has reflected that. But I think today is like the updates for what they have for the future. They have a bunch of great shows coming out. They have a movie about the fake moon landing. They talk about it on Blackout.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a moment that turns the tide in a positive way, and they start to recover and push up higher from here.
Yeah, so it's the most important, and everybody felt it. You can feel like this is the most important development conference, and they usually don't talk about products. They talk about software. So yes, new Watch OS, new TV OS, new iOS 18. And like you said, I think the Vision OS 2 was important. We spoke about the product. We debuted the product here. We showed the product. One of the things was a drawback was like there's not many apps that are made specifically for it. And so 6 months later, here we are. 2,000 now. 2,000 apps made for it. You can see how sports is getting incorporated. I still like the Vision Pro. Yes, it hasn't taken over yet, and I keyword yet, but those type of improvements are important. But their partnership with OpenAI is the biggest thing.
Yeah, incredibly important.
Because again, what we're looking for is what role will they play in artificial intelligence, and to have that as part of it is important. But now what comes into question is the partnership with Google, right? Because you're looking at two guys who might be your prime candidates for the dilemma, right? Like if he uses ChatGPT as his search for everything, I'm using Google search. But if I have a partnership right onto my phone with OpenAI, do I even need Google search anymore? You're talking about $10 billion in revenue. Is it per quarter? I think it's per year for them to be the exclusive search engine. That
per year, yeah.
It hurts the obviously it takes in some revenue. What is the numbers looking like for the partnership with OpenAI? These are big things, and so it's exciting to see, man. At least they're addressing it and they are aware of some of the issues and the concerns, especially from that quote unquote Mag 7, where all of them pretty much have said, outside of, I guess we can take Tesla, outside of Tesla has said, here's how artificial intelligence will play a role in the future guidance of our companies. Apple hasn't said anything, so obviously today was a big moment for that.
Yeah, and Sam Altman being there, that's a big feat for it. Not only his company, but for Apple to show that the integration and partnership is real. It's like if we would have got that Jay-Z big album, like I think it's incredibly important for them to show solidarity at a time when they're not really public with doing partnerships of this scale, because they really needed it. So Apple will be fine. Everyone who's asked about the stock is doing well. It may not be doing as well as Nvidia, but if you look at the returns over a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year basis, they're doing okay. So
yeah, and like you said, I see it going over 200. It'll be an interesting week. Obviously, we got the Fed chair speaking on Wednesday, and so we'll see if there's going to be rate cuts. There probably won't be, but everybody's assuming that it might happen as early as September, maybe November.
So Biden's going to need them.
We're going to need something. We'll see where inflation's at. We have, another witching is coming up in the next week and a half. So if there's a slight pullback, this might be a time. I know people are like, well, should I buy now? Let's see how Wednesday looks. Let's see how Thursday looks. Let's see how next Friday pans out. And it might fall to a price. I like it in that 176 range if it does get there. If it gets to a price where it's like, all right, well, it's pulled back. We've now heard the innovation. We already trust the brand. We know the moat that they have. Sales in China have picked up. I know we didn't really talk, but they showed
they ticked up. Yep,
they have ticked up, which is important. Which is very important when you're talking about the number one source of revenue for the company, the iPhone. So let's see.
Even if it gets to 190, it would be good. It'd be a good time to buy. Also, too, I want to say, if you're new here, this doesn't include you, but if you've been here for a while, you've been in Stock Club, you don't need to know when. Buy based off price or buy every month. Like, it's a non-factor, and everyone isn't hunting for the best deal when y'all go buy the Rude or Balenciaga shit, like, or the Jordans. Just buy consistently over time and you'll be a-okay, because you don't want to be missing out in 4 years like how some of you are complaining about Nvidia now. Just buy every month and you'll be a-okay.